So today I'm gonna be doing an Uncle Tetsu Japanese Cheesecake Mukbang. This is in their like original flavor, not the matcha one. Though the matcha one's pretty good too. So yeah, I picked this up last night and it was raining really hard and I'm like, no, for the mukbang I will get the cheesecake. So yeah, here it is. I threw it in the toaster oven for like a minute just so it like, yeah, because it rained yesterday, and then it was fresh out of the oven, there was like some condensation and then it kind of like made the cheesecake a little bit too dense, because I got two, and yeah, my mom had one earlier and she's like, yo, it's really dense, and I was like, oh, okay, so I popped it in the oven, hopefully just dried it up just a little bit, and then as usual, I'm having tea on the side. This is Monk's Blend from David's Tea, and you guys had a lot of questions about where I got this teapot. This is the David's Tea for one teapot. I got this maybe like in 2015, and they changed the design and everything. It has a more traditional feel to it now, and yeah, so instead of the cup being at the bottom, the cup's like on top, and then you have like a big handle like this, so I prefer this one, but yeah. Anyways, so cheesecake. So good. And I know I can finish this whole thing because it's not too sweet, and ugh, I know it's bad. Okay, and then let's start. So, look how nice and fluffy that is. It's so good. Oh. I love Japanese cheesecake. It's so good. When I was in Japan, they had like cheesecake stores at the subway station. This is so good. When I eat things, I love eating it also for the texture. Apparently it also has to do with the fact that my mom didn't breastfeed me, so I really love chewing stuff, you know? I don't know. Random fact, I was never breastfed as a kid, or as a baby. Could explain why I have a lot of like separation anxiety and everything. Yep. I'm not close to my mom in like a mom and daughter way. I'm like close to her in like a friend way. You know? Okay, anyway, so I wanted to update you guys on something. Well, I didn't tell you guys at all, but it's like, because it's just been this thing that's just been going on for so long, and yeah, it was so annoying. Anyways, so if you guys didn't know, I moved in with my mom in 2016 after coming back from Japan. Which, by the way, if you guys are curious about what happened in Japan, I can't talk about it too in depth, but I talked about it with the most detail and the most vague way in my Twitter Q&A, so you guys can check that out if you guys are interested. So I officially moved in with my mom in 2016 after I came back from Japan. So like late 2016, and then so we're renting this place. My mom's been renting here for like, I don't know, 7-8 years or whatever, and then never had any issues with attendance, right? Always awesome. We're always really nice to them. They're always really nice to us until in like October. These new tenants move in, and they just start fucking smoking, blasting music and everything, and it was just horrible because we're on the second floor, they're in the basement, and they just, the music was horrible to the point where like the whole house was just violently vibrating. And then, you know, obviously I called in for noise complaints and everything, and so they kind of stopped there, but the smoking, holy fucking shit, okay? They smoke every day throughout the entire fucking day, and like I actually have secondhand smoke because of it, and then I actually suffered like from like a mild like carbon monoxide poisoning. I thought it was the flu, but then I realized I don't get sick very often, and then by the time I went to the doctors, he's kind of like, well, I can't really test it, and I'm like, okay. So that happened, and you know, we've confronted them so many times about it. They were like, oh yeah, well, stop smoking. And then this one time I went down and I was like, stop fucking smoking. And then he's like, oh, I'm not smoking. And then his girlfriend walks out with a cigarette in her hand and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, you're fucking good. Like, they keep lying about not smoking, but they are. I fucking smell it. And then there's other time I went down, they were like, oh, we're making toast. I'm like, I'm not a fucking idiot, okay? I can tell the difference between toast and cigarettes. They don't even have a fucking toaster. Anyways, so I started recording like music times and then like smoking times and everything. It was just like for my own thing. I don't know. I just started doing it because I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be helpful one day. Anyways, it got to the point, and you guys know like who lived in Toronto or here in Toronto or live in Toronto during like the winter that we just had. Holy shit! You know what? I had to cover up all the vents. My mom and I had to cover up all the vents because the smoke was coming through the vents. The other thing, when I confronted them about it, I'm like, are you smoking? They're like, yeah. And then I was like, where the fuck are you smoking? You know? And then they're like, oh, because they're in the basement. So they're like smoking right under the vent, the heat vent. And I'm like, you idiot. And it's like, they were like, okay, we'll smoke outside. They smoked outside like a couple times. Okay. And, yeah, so anyways, going back to the winter thing, we had to cover up all the vents and I froze during the winter time. And in my room, if I talk and then I would be like, you could see like the water vapor or like the mist or whatever. I don't remember, but you know, you could see it, and it was that bad. And you guys know how cold it was. And then I even had to go buy like an electric blanket, which by the way, it wasn't a bad thing that I bought it because I actually really love it, but I still have the vents all covered up right now. So it was pretty terrible. Anyway, so then we were talking to the landlord about it. So originally, there was a unit 1 that lived there for about 9 years. They moved out because they couldn't fucking handle the music or the smoke. And, yeah, so they moved out. Anyways, I confronted the landlord about it, and then he's like, I'm not, like, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I went and did some research, and apparently there's a tenant and landlord board in Canada, Ontario, Toronto. I don't know if it's like specific, but I guess everywhere should have a tenant and landlord board, right? And then there's like a application that you can do to evict the tenants. And then I showed it to him, and he's like, I'm not fucking paying for it, because it was like $180. And I'm like, what the fuck, yo? And then my mom was talking to his wife, and his wife's like, no, you know, we can't kick them out. I'm like, my mom's like, why? It's like, oh, they owe us money. They don't pay rent. They don't fucking pay rent. And then my landlord wanted to like keep them around so they will eventually pay rent, because, you know, it's a big loss for him if he doesn't pay. I mean, if they don't pay him the rent that they owe. And then my mom and I were like, oh, okay. So then I went back to the tenant landlord board and told them, hey, there's this form you can fill out that will like make them, you know, pay up. And he's like, oh, okay. So there's the first letter that you give to the tenant, and then it's like warning them, hey, if you don't pay by this time, or if you don't stop smoking by this time, you have to like be evicted by this day or whatever. I forgot who it was. But basically it's like a warning letter. So my landlord gave them the warning letter, and then they continued to smoke and everything and not pay rent. So then they had to fill out the next form, which was to the board, and then, you know, they pay the money. So eventually he did pay for that application money, which, by the way, you know what, my mom offered, it's like, hey, you know what, I'll pay half. And he's like, fuck no, you know? If you guys don't like it here, then you guys can move. And then, blah, blah, blah. So then, yeah, we're like, okay. So then he paid for those application forms to get them evicted. And Jesus Christ, such a long procedure. But anyways, so it turns out that me recording all their smoking times and like noise times, their like music, actually helped a lot. It helped with our case so much, and I was like, damn, I did something out of the blue for like, it helped, you know? Because usually, for me, I help by not helping. That's just the type of person I am. Like, I cause more trouble if I try to help, but this time I did something and it helped, you know? And it helped our case. Anyway, so last Thursday, not the Thursday that just passed, but the like last Thursday, so I guess when this goes up just 2 Thursdays ago. Anyway, so we went to the tenant landlord board. So I didn't exactly have to go, but I was serving as a witness because I live here, my landlord doesn't. And then, yeah, so the tenant, they're like Hungarian refugees, which I have nothing against. I have nothing against refugees. I have nothing against Hungarians. One of my best friends were actually Hungarian. No, but one of my best friends is actually Hungarian. Like I have no problem with Hungarian people. I just want to throw that out there. So, oh, you know what? With the smoking, they also have a baby. They also have a little girl. And they just always have kids when they're smoking, and it's like, it's so fucking bad. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you guys, like how bad the smoking is. Anyways, okay, so the boyfriend didn't go, the one who could actually speak English, he didn't go. But the girlfriend who doesn't speak English, she went. And then when we were waiting for our case to be called up, before us there was this Hungarian granny who, I don't know how they ended up knowing that each other were Hungarian or something, but the granny's like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna help you, you know? Us Hungarian, we need to like stick together. I'm gonna help you translate, blah, 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 blah. So that happened. And while we were waiting, the granny came over and started interrogating us. It's like, your evidence is not enough, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, chill, you know? We'll talk about it when it's our turn to do the case. So, yeah, like the tenant's son and I, like, well, like we both speak English. And then the tenant, he didn't speak English. I mean, no. The landlord didn't speak English, but the landlord's son and I did. And then the landlord's son, he went up to the, you know, the judge and was like, hey, I was wondering if we were called up yet, because we sat outside of the hearing room. Because someone told us to sit outside of the hearing room, but we're supposed to sit inside. And then the judge was just like, oh yeah, I haven't called you guys yet, you know, just sit down. And then the Hungarian granny, like 30 minutes later, started like throwing a tantrum at the judge, like, why isn't it our turn yet? You know, we've been waiting here for so long, blah, 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 blah. And the judge was like, chill. You know, everyone's just telling her to chill. So when it was our turn, I had to step out because I was a witness and I wasn't allowed to listen to the first part of the dispute. So when I went in, I was as a witness. And then, yeah, so for some reason that Hungarian granny kept trying to like interrogate us. Like, she wasn't interpreting, and then the judge was like, just fucking translate, you know? Don't give your opinion, don't talk to, you know, the person you're translating for. Just translate. And if you're like, and like the granny was like, yeah, I'm a professional. And then it's like, if you're a professional, you wouldn't be doing this shit. You know, you wouldn't be like being rude to the judge. You wouldn't be like trying to give your opinion and stuff like that. And you wouldn't have gone up to like the landlord prior to the hearing and start like, I don't know what she was doing. I don't know what her point was of doing that. But it was just like, the judge was just like, shut the fuck up, basically, in like a very professional manner. Anyway, so yeah, I produced this like smoking record, and then I gave that document to the judge. And then the attendant was saying how it was fake and it was not real, and that all of the recording times were like made up. And that they don't smoke. I'm like, no. Not that they don't smoke. It's like, that they didn't smoke inside, you know? But then the judge was like, okay, do you have any, you know, evidence to say that her evidence is fake? No. Because guess what, bitch? Guess what, bitch? You do smoke inside. And she's like, oh, how come you didn't? She's like, at first she was like, oh, she never came to me and asked me to stop smoking. And I was like, yeah, I didn't come up to you. I went up to your boyfriend. And your boyfriend was the one that promised to stop smoking. And then, let's see. Oh, and with like the not feeling well because of like secondhand smoke and like the carbon monoxide poison. It wasn't like extreme, but I was like shaking, and then like my breathing was like hyper breathing. What's it called? Yeah, it was really intense, and I was having headaches and I wanted to throw up and everything. It's like, oh, why didn't you tell me that you weren't feeling well? I did. You know, and the whole time they were just digging themselves like a bigger grave. So I don't know if like the Hungarian granny just like made the whole case worse because she was so aggressive, and the judge was just like, stop being so aggressive, Jesus Christ. And like obviously we don't know what the tenant actually said because she wasn't, because the granny wasn't like an actual interpreter, like a not like a professional one. That yeah, I don't know. I feel like they could have like done without the granny. Anyways, here's the funny thing, because they were saying like, oh, we're not the only ones smoking. The unit 1 is smoking too. And then I'm like, okay, unit 1's been living there for fucking 10 years. My mom lived here for like 7-8 years. Okay. Tell me why we only started smelling smoke when you moved in, and how come even after the unit 1 actually moved out because of your fucking smoking, that we still continue to smell smoke. And then they just wouldn't let go of the fact that it was unit 1 that was smoking, which unit 1 never fucking smokes in their life, you know? And then the judge was like, can you stop being so obsessed with unit 1, you know? Oh no, poor Uncle Tetsu's face. So, of course, it ended up ruling in our favor. Blah, blah, blah. And you know, the tenant, or well, the granny was like, oh, the tenant said she's gonna move out April 15th because she can't tolerate living there anymore. Tolerate? What the fuck are you tolerating? Holy crap. You know? I've been like nothing but nice to them. And then this is why I feel like, you know, sometimes when you're nice, people think you're weak and like they can step all over you. Anyways, but yeah, I'm gonna be moving out. Because they've been telling the landlord that they were gonna move out like every month, but they never did. But I don't know if they're actually gonna move out this time. They better. You know? Like, smoking's bad. Yes. If you smoke, like, it's bad for you. But, like, I have no problem with tenants smoking. Just because there have been, tenants that moved in before them that do smoke, but they always step outside to smoke. They never smoke inside. And they were super considerate and everything. It was so nice. So I mainly have like a problem with just... Yeah, like I don't have a problem with smoking. Like, I would say don't smoke because it's bad for you. It's bad for everyone around you. But if you have to smoke, I just hope that like they can just be considerate, you know, like the other tenants that used to live here. Anyways, so because our original application, it didn't include the music. I mean, I gave the music records anyways, but like that couldn't be a part of the thing we were doing. And then there was also this other thing. So they do have a kid, right? And then apparently this kid likes to throw shit in the toilet. So it clogged up the toilet, and then the landlord had to pay like $1,500 to fix it. And then they were like, oh, so originally the landlord said that, oh, the plumbers found like pieces of clothing, kids clothing, and then the tenant's like, oh, that's not that, like I never saw like kids clothing when the plumber showed me what was in like the pipes. We just saw a bunch of the baby wipes that we use. And then the judge was like, okay, well there you go, you just admitted that you were the one that, you know, clogged the toilet and then had to make the landlord pay $1,500 to fix your fucking pipe. So they have to owe that to the landlord by April 15th. It's just like, we wouldn't have had this problem. Well, actually, no, they're just very problematic. And they're always like fighting. And I always hear the kid cry, and then it's like, I don't know what I can do about it. Like, do I call like child services or something? And it's like, I probably wouldn't, because I don't know their situation. But the fact that it has like affected my health, my mom's health, and our enjoyment in our own living space, you know, we had to like do something about it. Plus they weren't paying rent, which is really fucked up. So yeah, like I've never been so adamant about this, I guess, or like something of this nature, you know, like because I'm a pushover and like I'm not someone who confronts people very often, but this smoking thing and this music thing was so it was so bad that even someone as a pushover and someone who's like not confrontational confronted them several times and they still, you know, I don't know, whatever. I'm glad, you know, I did the records and everything, and then that we're finally doing something about it, and I'm glad that I was able to do research, and then we finally, just so, things are happening. I just really hope the next place that they're moving into, they're gonna be a little bit more fucking considerate, not only to the people living around them, but their kid and themselves. Yeah, and hopefully they pay rent to that place. I was pretty worried before about doing this because the boyfriend's crazy. Like, super crazy. Like, I don't know what he was capable of, so I'm scared. Maybe we do have to move so he doesn't find us. No, but like, I'm just so sick of people like walking all over me and everything. So yeah. Just wanted to tell you guys about that because it's just been something that's been bothering me for like since October. And yeah. Oh, and because of their like smoking and then their music, I couldn't film, you know? And I do YouTube full time, and this is how I make money, this is how I'm gonna pay rent, you know? And it's like it was just and I always had to time like my videos super early in the morning before they started like blasting their music, before they started smoking, where I had to open the windows, and because we live on a main street, you know, it's busy outside and the cars are going like vroom, so I couldn't film, and this whole thing just like fucked up my, you know, work schedule and everything, and it was just so bad. And it affected our health too. My mom gets headaches all the time because they're fucking smoking. And this thing made me very, very angry. But yeah. That's what I've been dealing with. I really love hot tea. After like you have something sweet and then you drink the hot tea and it like melts everything. This isn't even too sweet either. Sorry, I always feel like my mukbangs are just becoming more and more ranty as it goes. It's just like, it's just things that are happening in my life, and it's like, when I sit down and talk to you guys, it's like, that's the type of shit that just kind of pops out in my head, and I'm like, yo, gotta tell you guys about it, you know? And, yeah, I really hope they move out. Oh yeah, but then the rent thing, I don't know what's happening with that because it wasn't part of our case, but I don't think my landlord's gonna get the outstanding rent back. And that really sucks. Because I think like he's out like $4,000 or $6,000. That really sucks. So fluffy. Mmm. So, if there is something you guys want me to talk about, or you guys have an idea of what I should eat next, then let me know in the comments. Because if not, these like mukbangs are just gonna be like whatever comes to my head. I'm just gonna start talking about it. And like some people have expressed that they're like, it's a little bit too rampy, you know? And then some people are like, yeah, I love it, you know? I don't know. There are topics I would like to talk about. But I guess I'll maybe post that in the comments and see, like, have a poll, see what you guys like. Oh! Mouse situation, by the way, update. So, we caught that mouse. It's a little tiny one. The one that came into my room. So after I had that standoff with it, that other time I told you guys about it, it hasn't come into my room until last night. The night before yesterday. So before I got caught, it was really funny. Like, my boyfriend accidentally stepped into the trap, the sticky trap. And then, obviously he's human, so it came off. So we were joking about how, oh, the mouse saw that my boyfriend stepped in it. He was like, hey, if I step in that, I won't get caught, because he didn't get caught. And then the mouse stepped in it and he got caught. So that night was so... I couldn't sleep until like 2, 3 a.m. And then an hour after I actually fell asleep, I just heard and I'm like, no! I just fell asleep because I'm a really light sleeper. And also because we live on the main road, I have a lot of trouble sleeping at night because I'm a super duper light sleeper. Like, yeah, there have been times where my mom and I are in the same room and then I fall asleep. And then, like, she just, wherever she is, she looks at me, and then I just, like, my eyes just, like, flash open, and I'm like, yes, you know, and she's like, you're fucking weird, because it freaks her out, because she's just looking at me. And then I feel her eyes, and I open them, and I look back at her, you know, and then she's like, okay, I'm just never gonna look at you. Yeah, so yeah, I'm a light sleeper, and then the mouse just goes like, ee, and I'm like, no! So then I had to, like, deal with it, and then, it was this big sticky trap. It was, like, this big, like a book, like, about this big, one side here and one side here, and then I propped it up on, like, against the wall behind the door, and got caught, yeah, behind the door, so I had to take it out, and then I had to fold it, and then I put it in the kitchen, and then I wanted to make sure it wouldn't come out, so I put some stuff on top of the mouse trap, and then my mom disposed of it in the morning. Yeah. Sorry. So that happened. And then I went back to bed, and then I heard some rustling in the kitchen, and I'm like, oh, my mom's up because she has to go get ready for work. It's like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and I just walk in the kitchen, I just sit there and start talking to her, and then she leaves, and then I come back in my room, I open the window because it's like nice and cold and chilly, and I'm like, yeah, this will help me sleep. And then I switched the side that I was sleeping on, so I was sleeping at the opposite end of the bed, which is right beside the window. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna help me sleep. So I started falling asleep, and then all I heard is boom, boom, boom. Someone's fucking knocking on my door, and I'm like, oh my god. And I sleep naked, right? So I'm like, oh god, and I start like putting clothes on, and I'm like, what the fuck's happening? And I go downstairs, and I try to peep outside, see who it is, and then it's like, I thought it was like my basement neighbor, the tenants, that like the smoking ones. And I'm like, oh fuck, you know? What's happening? And then I hear them speak English. I was like, oh, okay, it's not them. So I opened the door, and it's like, they were looking for my landlord, but yeah, anyway, so I did not sleep. It was terrible. But yeah, and then yesterday I just ended up sleeping until like noonish until my boyfriend came over. Originally we were supposed to go out, but we didn't because like by the time I did wake up, like my throat was all scratchy and I had a lot of phlegm, and then I was having a dry cough. You know the ones that just burn your chest? I was having that and I'm like, babe, I don't think I can go out. He's like, it's okay, because it was storming yesterday anyway, so he's like, I'll just come over. And yeah, he brought me bubble tea and Greek food and I was really happy. Ooh, by the way, I wanted to do like a Greek food mukbang, so I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know if I want to do like a Greek food mukbang or just stick to like Asian food, like Japanese and Korean, because it seems to do better, you know? But then I really love Greek & Co. You guys live in Toronto? Greek & Co. Oh, it's so good. I always go to the one on Bloor near Spadina Station because it's close to campus. And it's like, it's so good. I definitely want to do a mukbang. Oh, I was actually going to do like a sushi mukbang because I got these like, they're handing out like Foodora coupons. And then I'm like, oh. And I looked up in my area and apparently there's like a lot of sushi restaurants near me. And I was like, I can do a sushi mukbang. And I'm like, maybe. Think about it. Oh, my foot is asleep. Last piece. Oh. It's so good. I'm ashamed that I can finish a whole Uncle Tetsu cheesecake by myself. In one sitting. Hey, but look, I'm done. I finished it for once. I just feel like sometimes with the mukbangs, because I'm talking and eating at the same time, because like I have time to digest my food while I'm talking, because these mukbangs tend to be like 30 minutes to like an hour, and then like the food settles in and then it's like I can't take anymore. But usually if like I just eat and I don't talk, I can finish my food in like 5 minutes. 10 if I'm trying not to be curvy, but yeah, I could eat very quickly. Let me tell you, when I was a kid, it was a life or death thing with my brother and I at the dinner table. You know, every man for himself. You know, it was like the survival of fitness. So I had to eat very quickly so I can get like the best side dishes and everything. It was just... Why do I keep burping? Anyways, yeah. When I was a kid, like, let's say this is like my bowl of rice. And then these are like sides, right? So, okay, no, I'm my brother. And then, so what my brother would do, he would pull all of like the side dishes closest to him. Just close to him. So it's easier for him to grab. And my parents just never said shit. Like, you need to learn to share and keep all the side dishes like in the fucking middle. You know? God. And they're like, oh, I don't know what went wrong with our parenting. And they're like, it's not our fault. Look, you turned out great. You know, it wasn't until high school that I realized people put milk and sugar in their tea. Because as an Asian person, I only know it as like just hot water and tea leaves. And then I found out people put milk and sugar, and then that's when I started breaking out. because increase of sugar intake causes your skin to be very oily, and then milk, which triggers hormones and everything, start breaking out, and it was just a very yummy time, but horrible for my skin. I do still have dairy, but just not like a lot. Like, yeah, I have like matcha lattes. It's just as long as I don't drink milk, I'm fine. But yeah, cheese. Camera keeps dying. But yeah, cheese is okay. It depends. It really, really depends. But I cut it out of my diet for like 2 years, and then I slowly reintroduced it back, and now it's okay. Like, I could have some dairy stuff, but back in the day, everything just triggered, and like, I would always have diarrhea like every day, but I'm like, oh, it's great, you know, my bowel movements are regular. I have a nice poop like after school every day. Yeah, no. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I'm really stupid. I wholeheartedly agree with that and admit that. Sometimes I'm really dumb. Yeah. So I should really go to the gym after this, because that was a lot of calories. Oh, gym. That sounded like something else. If you're Vietnamese, you know what I kind of said. Anyways, yeah, so gym update or workout update. Been trying to go to the gym more often, and my butt's getting bigger because I'm doing more squats and I'm doing like weightlifting, and then like my squat, my form and everything, and then my butt's getting bigger and rounder, and I'm like, this is so weird. Oh my god, it's like, it's so weird to see myself with like a rounder butt, you know? Or like a more defined, firm butt. Like, I had a butt before, but it was like, meh, right? But now it's like, damn, you know? And it's weird. But oh, the other thing, it's like, okay, so I'm building muscle, right? And I'm getting slimmer. But like when I hop on like the scale, it's just like I gained weight, and it's like, I know it's not fat because I'm slimming down. Like when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm getting slimmer. But the number just really bothers me, and I really want to like get out of that mindset where I'm like obsessed with like the number, because that's what I used to be like. The first time I lost weight, which is also the reason, you know, I ended up gaining weight, because I was in the wrong like mindset. And yeah, I just want to like not know, or like not be so bothered by like the number of how much I weigh, and just kind of just look more at like my body, you know, like, oh yeah, I'm slimming here, blah blah blah, and then my clothes are fitting better and stuff like that. You know, there are all these good things that are happening out of working out, but then I see the number and I'm like, oh fuck, you know, like I'm not doing good enough. But I think I'm doing pretty well, you know. Clothes are getting looser, butt's getting, you know, more round, defined, and yeah. And then yeah, just need to not be obsessed with that number. And I don't know if you guys want me to do like a weight loss update or whatever, because I'm not really losing weight, but I'm slowing down, so okay, I'm being weird again. Anyways, yeah, I really do need to go to the gym after this. But then I started playing Final Fantasy again, and I really want to stay home and just game all day now. Yeah. In other news, look who finally got her fucking hair rollers. But I'm still trying to figure out how to like use it, or like how it should roll, how long I should keep it on and stuff like that, because when I use this, maybe because like the diameter of the roller is kind of small, I get a really defined like big curl and doesn't suit my face. So yeah, I'm gonna figure it out for like the next week, and then I'm gonna do a video on it. So yeah, aren't we all so damn excited now that I finally got hair rollers and I can finally start wearing my bangs down? It's been like a month. But yeah, so I'm rambling on a lot, I'm sorry. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this mukbang, and I hope you guys didn't find the smoking tendon thing too annoying, but just really wanted to tell you guys and update you guys on what the fuck's been happening to me since like October. And yeah, so if you guys have any suggestions on what I can talk about or what I can eat, then leave it in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys thought about the video. Like it if you liked it, don't dislike it. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Thank you for watching. Love you. Bye! You know, you guys ask why I don't do like dirt faces anymore at the end of my videos. I don't know. I feel like I got bored of like the dirt faces that I do. Like I don't know how to do it anymore. Like, they're not impressive to me. I don't know.